Coach, lots of stuff going on with you this year, especially with the 15-4 start. What's been or how much fun has it been to start this way?
Well, it has been. I mean, we were in the midst of recruiting late in the summer. Had a recruit we thought we were going to get. You know, we needed some bigs, and we'd signed a really good 6'8" high school senior out of Valley High School in Des Moines, but we had two centers and one power forward. The power forward was a recruit, Nissan Wiley, had Emil back, and we had 7 seniors and a lot of bigs, and they all graduated. So lost that young man. Then the first week of school, the young man from Valley High decided he didn't want to play basketball and left school. And so we had one center, one power forward, and 12 guards. What do we do? And we had a transfer in who had played with Patrick Whelan for 6 years in England growing up. He was a wing player who had played some point guard, and he's really had a great year, Pharaoh Gordon. And we brought in 2 left-handed point guards in Byron Hart and Keith Hayes. Easton Cook was back as a starter. Patrick was back as a starter. Esan Wiley was a developing freshman. Clark Minifield. We looked at our roster, and we thought, okay, we've got one center, one power forward, and all these guards. How do we play? And as it evolved, and it's probably hurt Emil more than anybody else, we've evolved into a 5-out, all-guard lineup. Mm-hmm. Now, one guard 6'6", one 6'5", but they've never consistently guarded 4s and 5s. So that changes what they did defensively. They've always guarded perimeter guys. Now all of a sudden they're guarding guys who might be perimeter but also low post. And so it's been an adjustment for everybody. Coach Williams has done a phenomenal job. I've never coached a team like this. This is very much like the team I played on my senior year in college. We started 4 guards and a small forward, and that small forward was an All-American. Yeah. Tremendous player. We need to shoot it well to be consistent. We need to not be taking the ball out of the net trying to run a fast break every time. But we have 5 guys on the floor that we don't have to outlet it to a point guard. If Pharaoh gets the basketball, he's got the freedom to go. If Patrick gets the basketball on the rebound, he's got the freedom to go. Patrick was our point guard for 2 years. So it's evolved. 15-4. I don't know what I expected. I thought we would be a tough matchup for people, the way they play defensively. I thought we would struggle sometimes with defensive rebounding, and that's been the case. Some teams have hurt us with their offensive rebounding. But it's been fun putting it together. We have a great group. The 3 transfers have really been special. Pharaoh has been phenomenal, and Byron, we got to keep him healthy, but he's been dynamite. Keith led the conference in scoring for a while, and then Patrick is Patrick, and Easton is really solid. We're small. We're 5'10", 5'11", 6'2", 6'5", 6'6". But I think we're a tough matchup for the other teams. And sometimes I lose sight of that. I'm more concerned with how we're going to match up. Are we big enough? Well, it's a challenge for the other teams as well. And
Larry Holley is our guest. It's halftime. You won your 900th overall victory against Rockhurst a couple of weeks ago, and Thursday night at McKendree, because UMKC wouldn't count for your record, but a chance to tie Bobby Knight. And as you go by these coaches, what are your thoughts? Does it mean much to you, or is it just another win?
I think I'll probably reflect on that when I retire a little bit more, maybe at the end of this season. It does make me, I've been in it a long time. Not many people have coached as many years. My winning percentage is not the same as Adolph Rupp's or Dean Smith's or John Wooden's or Bobby Knight's. I've coached more games, but it means I've been blessed with a lot of good players, excellent assistant coaches, a supportive family. It's been it takes all that. But this is my 50th year coaching, my 47th year as a head college coach, and I honestly I don't know where the time's gone. I flash back to my years at Central Methodist, my years at Northwest, and when I first came here in the fall of '79. It goes quickly, but it tells me I've been in it a long time. I've been blessed with good players, good assistant coaches, and I mean, it's been a good ride. William Jewell has been a special place for me as a student athlete and certainly as a coach, and the support I've received here has been tremendous.
Coach Holley, boil it down for me here with the way you've played basketball, coached basketball for 50 years. Has it kind of stayed the same, and what are the important things about playing basketball that you've kind of hung your hat on, to say?
Well, the staples, I mean, I've always believed that defense, rebounding, and free throw shooting. Now, there's other things, but those three things should stay consistent game in and game out. Defense is about effort, want to, heart, just being a blue-collar worker, that type of thing. You've got to have a solid defense, and because there's going to be times the shots won't fall, things aren't going your way offensively, but you've got to be able to make stops. So defense, rebounding. If you give up a lot of second and third shots, it's going to be a long season. I think about our Quincy game earlier in the year. We gave up 25 offensive rebounds to a team that was actually second in the nation at the time in offensive rebounds, and we won the game. I have no idea how you win a game giving up 25 offensive rebounds, but we did. And then free throw shooting, because to me that's a matter of confidence, stepping to the line, knocking it down. Now, obviously, you want to have good shooters up there, but good teams defend, they rebound, they shoot free throws. And then you hope you have good shot selection and that you can make a high percentage of those shots. But there's other things that go into it. But you asked what my staples have been. I'm not the only coach that would say this, but probably that's what I believe that has to stay consistent to be somewhat successful.
You know, I have to ask this because everybody does. How many more years? What are you thinking about your future?
I know we have a game tonight against UMKC, and I know we have another conference game in Lebanon. You know, I think about it more than I've ever thought about it. We'll see where it all leads. And looking ahead, you know, I want those four to end it right. I'll sit down with my wife and family, and we'll see where it all leads. But we have a pretty good junior class and some other underclassmen, a developing sophomore and some good freshmen. So we'll see where it all leads. But I'll tell you a story. We may not have time for this.
We have time for this.
But with St. Joseph's closing, we now have 15 teams in our league. And that means every time there's a round of games, somebody has a bye. Well, our buys are going to be on Saturdays. So 2 weeks ago, I had a Saturday. What do I do on a Saturday? We're not going to practice. I got to watch my grandkids play youth basketball in Lee Summit. And I never get to do that. And so it's kind of neat to walk in a gym on a Saturday morning in Lee Summit and watch my granddaughter play. And then it was later in the day, it was nice to walk into a gym and watch my grandson play. I've got two other grandkids that are younger. And so it kind of made me think, you know, if I'm not doing this, what's important? And I spent a lot of time raising other people's kids, probably more than I did my own three daughters. And I've been blessed twice with marvelous women in my life that have been my wives. Ann, who passed away in 2006, and now Linda. So made me think a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it's still enjoyable. It's fun, and this group has been amazing this year. It kind of, not that I feel old every day, but I can look in the mirror and see a few more wrinkles here and there and a lot less hair. But I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not offended by people asking me. Recruits ask me that. Recruits' families ask me that. You know, are you going to be here for my son's 4 years? All that sort of thing. And but it's been a great ride, and I'll keep you posted.
What about the competitive side of you? I've seen you get pretty fiery at times. How do you balance competitiveness with being a good person, for lack of a better way to put it? Well,
I can still get upset with a questionable call now and then. I can get upset with a player for what he did or didn't do in practice. I'm not a volatile person. I mean, you got to coach your personality, and I'm not I'm not going to throw chairs, and I'm not going to throw a lot of tantrums, and you're not going to hear me say a lot of bad words. But I can get upset. That's just. I think anybody who coaches, you can't be somebody else. I can't be Bobby Knight. I can't be John Wooden. I can take some of their elements into my personality and my behavior, and hopefully find a way to motivate. One of the things about basketball is, as opposed to say football, in football, you lose a game, you don't play for a week. In basketball, once you get in season, you're playing at least 2 a week, sometimes 3, so you better shake it off. And but I can. It takes me a little longer to get worked up about some things, unless it's just something I see on the floor that is not appropriate. But I want our players to play. I want them to let me get after the officials and that sort of thing. And but you don't see me get upset a lot, but I can still get upset.
When you do decide to get out a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, whatever it is, how do you want to be remembered? Because you've lived an awful lot of your life connected with Jewell, but how would you like to be remembered as a coach?
I think as somebody who cared about his players, both on and off the floor. I say this a lot. My success or failure is going to be, to me, is going to be measured by what these young men do with their lives 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as husbands and fathers, role models, that sort of thing. I think that's how I'll be judged. Everybody wants more minutes. I probably complained about my minutes played when I was here with Coach Nelson, but I love the band, and looking back on it, the mentor he was to me. So I would hope that I might get invited to a wedding now and then.
Thanks, Coach. It's been great.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a moment with more basketball from UMKC.